All right. It is Saturday morning, so you already know what that means. Paid for play coming at you live at 10:30. Used to be the football show. Now you already know we've been rocking this whole college basketball season with the four of us, plus Sosa, plus Sam Murphy. I think we had one or two guests, but the show is powered by Daily Bread Media. Paid for play, your number one spot. We're getting ready for baseball season as well. So you already know if you need college sports content, this is the Twitter handle and YouTube channel for you to be at. So our Twitter is at Paid for Play. Was still really surprised that no one had that taken from government and all that shit, but thank you. And we're also live on YouTube on Daily Bread Media. Make sure to give us a like, a subscribe there, and make sure to give us a retweet and a follow on Twitter. Make sure you get everyone out there into these airways. We got our man Harris with us already tapping in, so you already know. Get into the chat. We got the best chat out there on the airways. Drop your best bets. Goose, always rocking a great hat. Always gets a nice compliment each show, so make fun of us. Spin's got his Towson hoodie on. Steven got the white memo. I don't know what it is, but it's a Saturday morning. It is beautiful in most parts of the country, so let's have a great day. Spin, how are you doing?
Oh, doing great. Doing great. As you said, it's Towson Tiger game day. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, it's been a good run. 6 winning days in a row. So looking to make it number 7. I know we were talking I think Steven meant, or no, it was Goose mentioned before the show. There's a lot of picks that he likes. I'm the same way. God, looking at this slate, I was having a hard time last night and this morning whittling this down. There's a ton of shit I like, but we'll get it done. So yeah, excited to get going.
Goose, how you doing, my main man?
I'm glowing today. It's about 60 degrees here in New Jersey, which is really warm for this time of year. Rutgers has a huge game today. I am excited for it. And yeah, nothing could be better. It's my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, the professor. And I'm going to have a steak dinner tonight. So I'm thriving.
Yeah, happy birthday to Papa Goose. Always got to be shouting him out. I know Steven's a big fan of him since you guys met up. Tyler, we'll try to talk slow, but we'll make you feel better. Don't worry. We'll bring the good energy for you. That's what we are. We're all about the good vibes. Steven, how are you? How's that Rutgers game? Goose is pretty dope, ain't he? Just talking on mute, man. Goose, he fucking hates you.
Oh no, that was a great game. I will say what I loved on the intro here was all of our, or well, outside of Rex because he was talking, but the rest of our synchronization just fucking nodding our heads as soon as he says we're live is always hilarious to me. But I'm trying to keep up the insane hot streak I've been on. Two straight sweeps the last two nights. I mean, shit. And coming into a huge slate today, man, I'm ready. I'm ready to rock today.
Love to be hearing that. As you already know, the format of our show is we selected 6 of the top games that we put on the board, kind of different start times. We mixed in some few mid-majors for all of you to make sure that we're not neglecting any games out there. And then at the end of the show, we'll run through our full cards. I'm glad Steven's feeling great, even though UConn had a tough loss last night. Really past that, it's the time to get yourself on and off the bubble. One of the last full Saturday slates before the scary time when it's only baseball season. But we'll keep neglecting that. Let's get into the first game, the tip at noon. Goose, we're not talking Rutgers, sorry, even though they do have the matinee today. We're talking Baylor versus Texas. Steven, what you liking for this game here? Because we got a 6-point spread. We got a total sitting at 131. Give it to me.
I'll be honest. I need to see LJ Cryer back for Baylor, but as long as he's back, Baylor needs a game to stop the slide. And even though Texas is playing better, Baylor at home is still really tough. I think as long as nobody's injured, which I haven't seen any news saying he's still out, I would not comfortably, but I would say I would lean towards Baylor minus the 6 at home.
Goose? Or no, I'll go to Spin. Spin,
Okay.
what you see in this game?
Yeah, it's a lean on Baylor, but I don't really have a whole lot of interest in this total. What I do have interest in is the full game under here. Started at 129. I think it's been steamed up to 130.5. I actually like it at either number. So look, Steven already mentioned it. Baylor is tough at home. They're also tough defensively at home. And yeah, there have been some stumbles lately, but this is a team that is allowing less than 46% EFG on their home floor. They are still allowing just an absurdly low percentage from both 3-point and from mid-range on their home floor. I think 3-point is almost under 30%. Mid-range is under 40%. And, on the road this year, Texas has had some offensive struggles. So I like the under here pretty comfortably. And I would probably, it's steaming up, so that's good. But even if it goes down to like in the 128.5 or so, I would probably play it down to that. So full game under is my play.
Goose, what you like in this one? And I'll get into it because I'm trying to make sure all the tweets are out there for you guys.
Yeah, so I actually like Texas in this one, the +6. I agree with Spin Doc that I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be a fun defensive game. Baylor brings it at home on defense. Texas always brings it on defense. And I just think with the low-scoring game, the 6 points, it should be a close one. Matt Mayer, he's kind of disappeared a little for Baylor, and I feel like he's a big part of their offense, the 6'9" shooter. And as long as he's off, this Texas team, they're clicking right now. I think they compete with Baylor. I'm not sure if they could pull out the win, but I think this is going to be a one-possession game to the end.
Yeah, from the current Baylor hot streak and the run that they've been on, or the slide that we're saying that they're on, their 2 losses came at Alabama and at Kansas. So are they really that bad of losses? And their 1 loss at home this season is against Texas Tech. So even though I think Texas is the team with more momentum coming in here on the right foot, I think that, and they had a lot of time off since that Monday loss. So is this a potential sleepy spot in the first half? I definitely think that's where I'm going to be nailing it here. I'm playing Baylor first half -3.5, -110, just because I think there's no way they're going to come out slow at home. When you're just trying to look up this matchup wise and analytically, Goose, you said it, Mayer's been one of their biggest issues on this. And it's just Akinjo is also, he's just so sporadic, and he's very Jekyll and Hyde as well. With this extremely slow tempo that that Texas likes to have, Baylor's going to make them run. And even though when they get head-to-head in that aspect, I just expect Texas to fall in love with the threes, try to get into Baylor's inside, maybe struggle early and get away from that. But first half at home, I got to be rocking with Baylor to get right. So that's one of my first official plays of the day.
Yeah, and to add on to that too, like we're talking about the defensive matchup. When you just look at Big 12 conference stats, Texas 3rd in the Big 12 in field goal percentage allowed and 1st in defensive points per game allowed. Baylor 4th in points per game allowed. I could just go on and on and on about all of the good things defensively that both these teams do. But, really just everything adds up to an under here for me.
Yeah, it's strange that it's getting steamed up. Maybe they're expecting this to be close throughout, and that's where it's just fouls can always get you at a number sitting at 131. Because in Texas's last game against Kansas, if you tap in with us on Spaces, we definitely appreciate that because that's where Barry's saying Steven's on fire. But we alluded to that was Texas's best offensive game of the season last game by far. So is there a little bit of a come down spot here? Because the last time and every time that they averaged almost in conference play over 100 points per possession, they usually came back down with 15 less. So this is a spot where going into Baylor full game, I don't want to get involved with. Let's stick to the first half. All right, let's stay in the Big 12. We'll show a little bit, no bias there, but one of my favorite conferences to watch. Kansas versus Oklahoma. So Oklahoma finally got right. We always got to talk about Kansas basketball here because Fog, they've been showing up. But as usual, always got to make it a little bit sweatier than necessary. Here, I wanted to talk about this game because I got a play on it. But Goose, we'll let you hit this one first.
Yeah, I wanted to stay away from this one myself because It's a pretty high spread. I believe it's 10.5 right now. And I just I don't mess with those spreads too much. I think Kansas is a great team at home. So yeah, I would lean Kansas for the full game because Oklahoma's had those road struggles.
Sosa, thank you for gracing us with your presence. It's
Hey,
always
man.
a pleasure to spend another day with you on.
Good morning, man. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I'm excited about today's games.
We talked. Any thoughts on Baylor versus Texas? Because we're just about to get started in Kansas versus Oklahoma. That's the only game you missed.
Oh no, I was waiting for you to add me. I was down here for like the entire discussion of the last game.
Good. You're in timeout. Spin. I always know you got thoughts on Kansas.
No, listen, with the Baylor game, the only thing I like the under just because Texas, they play like Virginia, bro. It's just slow basketball. So that'd be it. But go ahead, Spin. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, this is an Oklahoma spot for me. And whenever I'm betting on a Kansas game and whenever I'm fading them, I always have to go back and make sure, is it my Bill Self bias that is coming into play? So is this purely a FU Bill Self type of bet? And this is not. 3 of the last 4 in Lawrence between these two teams have gone under this number. And, really when you look at like how teams have been performing lately, Kansas number 1 in the Big 12 in 3-point field goal percentage, shooting almost 36%, but Oklahoma holding teams under 30%, and actually recently even better. So I don't think that there's any realistic scenario where Oklahoma wins this game, but I think that there's just enough plays made, and I sense a backdoor cover here. So I'm thinking Kansas by like 8 or 9. It's not something that I would rush out to like bet the farm on, but if you gave me a free play on it, it would be on the Sooners here.
Anyone else want to go before I give out my play in this one? Steven, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I'll just say on this game, I think it's a little bit of a get right game for Abaji because he played 38 minutes and did not get anywhere near the amount of shots up that he needed to get. And usually, if he's only putting up 7 shots, you think he's at least still passing the ball and getting shots open for his teammates, but he had no assists in the last game. So I think this is going to be a big get right game for him tonight. And then just at home, Oklahoma, a little bit of a letdown spot after the big win over Texas Tech. Now they're on the road. I could easily see Kansas covering this number, but usually in Power 5 conference games, I don't want to bet a double-digit spread.
All right. None of you want to take that double-digit spread. I personally think Oklahoma covers that double-digit spread, but I love how this number just keeps getting hit lower and lower because we're going to get a 74 to 68 type of ball game here, and this is going over 138 minus 110. Kansas loves these sweet spots where if you just have to rely on them to get you to 78 and the other team just to show up a little bit and the weak 2-point defense, these teams will be able to get it at the rim. This last week, we took the Kansas Baylor over, and it didn't get there because Baylor just didn't show up. Once again, Oklahoma could start off slow with that total, but Kansas gets you out into that transition, which helps their defense a lot because it gets you out what they like to do. But we're getting over 138 minus 110. Goose, people want you in the DMs, man. And that's not even your, unless that's another burner account you got talking to yourself.
Conversation about hats. That's what it is.
I got nothing.
Anyone quick thoughts on Memphis versus Houston?
I mean, we know what the play should be. Just Houston first half team total over. That's it. Everything else doesn't matter.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
At this point, you just have to bet it.
Is it at what's it at? Is that the key number though?
It is at they're steaming it up now at 35.5 this time.
Ooh.
Yeah, my one book has 36 as well. That's what I'm saying. You guys exposed it too much and just had to tell everybody in the world about it.
Oh, I'm about to change y'all's mind with the game though. The game's in Houston.
Yes.
I think Memphis covers. Memphis covered both times they played them last year. They just play this team tough. I think Memphis gonna cover for sure. I
They
don't
have
care
the
about
talent.
I don't care about people talking about X's and O's and Penny. Listen, Penny is going through the same thing James Harden was. This ain't what he signed up for. He ain't signed up for all the players he recruited to not fucking play. And it's the second year in a row this has happened to him. And everyone's on him. Like the players that he's supposed to have out there aren't out there. I think they compete and keep it close. That number's insane to me. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with the spread on this one. I'm still going to take the first half team total over. This is a situation where I mean you're at 22 out of 23 games now. Ride the damn thing till the wheels fall off. There's just absolutely no reason not to stab at it again.
Yeah, so that's what we always do. Drop questions in our chat. You'll get us to talk about and go into depth the game we weren't planning about because we're looking at all the games on the board today. So my only reservation with that plus 10 is we've seen Memphis just can't put up 80 because Houston could easily put up a 90 burger today. So that's where the team total, it's hot. Full game, I wouldn't even be worried about it either because Houston, they need all the style points they can get because the American, it just sucks.
I'm actually I knew somebody was going to ask what you're sipping on. I'm actually sipping a Red Bull, but I'm not going to ever put a Red Bull can on camera. Ever.
Oh, I know.
No free ads.
No,
no, not about that. If you like racing.
Beyond that. So I'll
mid-major time. We'll go back to back with our mid-major games. So stick with us because we'll get back to the bigger games right at the end with our 6 games that we're covering today. But we're going Furman at Chattanooga. Personally, might be my top game of the day. You can all throw tomatoes at me or whatever, but this is probably one of the matchups hype about. Goose, SoCon, we got to give it to you first.
I really like this Chattanooga team. I've liked them all year, and I think they're plus 4.5 today, so I'm going to rock with them. They have a Batman and Robin. They have Malachi Smith, a walking 20 bucket, and they have David Jean-Baptiste, who gets about 15 a game. These 2 guards can carry a team. They have some nice size. They have a Kansas transfer, a big man, Silvio De Sosa, and I just think they have the offense. Now, when we look at Furman shoots the most threes in college basketball, and I like the Chattanooga's athleticism on defense to make them miss some three-point shots. Last game these 2 teams played, Chattanooga won by 2 at home. But Robin wasn't playing, David Jean-Baptiste. He didn't play, and they still won by 2. So now they have their full roster, and I'm liking plus 4.5. I'll probably play money line.
Goose, I'm rocking right there with you. And the way just to wrap it up, where you rely on 51.5% of your shots from deep from Furman, Chattanooga has a top 50 3-point defense where teams are only shooting 30% against them. And teams are shooting 40% of their shots from deep. So they're used to it. That's the way the SoCon rolls. In the first matchup, Chattanooga definitely looked tough. I think you could tend towards the over here as well, even though these 2 teams do rock in the bottom part of pace because it's just the hard part about it being 139.5 and wanting the over there is because since I have my money on the 4.5 minus 110 as well, that's going to mean it's super sweaty for me and you, Goose, because Furman, they don't like to go to the inside well, but that's where you can get the Chattanooga the best. So that's where Furman kind of contradicts the game and makes the threes a little bit easier by actually making the big man a presence today. That's the way I can see Furman skating away with it, but I'm rocking the Mocs with you, plus 4.5.
Yep, I'm right there with you guys. I love Chattanooga money line as well. I just like I'm throwing out that second game against Mercer where they only won by 2 in overtime because that was the second game of essentially a back-to-back there for them. So you knew Mercer was going to be ready to keep that game real close. But I think just in general, Chattanooga is still the most talented team in the conference. And Furman's also honestly been on a little bit of a slide recently. Like those 3-pointers that they were hitting early in the year, they're not hitting them right now. The way they lost to East Tennessee State and UNC Greensboro, the offense doesn't look the same right now. So, I mean, if you're giving me the most talented team in that conference at better than plus 170 odds, I would rock with that every time.
Spinner, Sos, you guys got anything?
Be on Furman. Be on Furman.
I have watched exactly 0 minutes of either of these teams all year. I've not bet on them, not touched them, so I have absolutely nothing. This is me talking to hear myself speak.
Yeah.
You're missing out then.
Yeah, I can't back Furman here. I mean, I would have to probably lean Chattanooga, but the one I actually like even more is Chattanooga team total over 67.5. I see this game being played in the 70s easily. And if you think Chattanooga is going to cover, then it's a pretty easy bet that they score at least 70. I don't see any way that this game, very few ways, I should say, that this game doesn't get played in the 70s, low to mid 70s. So Chet, if you're only going to give me 67.5, I actually might take an alt line on that. And because the 67.5 is juiced at minus 125. I actually might go up to 68 or 69.5 and try to get Chattanooga to score 70 plus. I think you can get that at almost like plus 130 or 135. That would be my preferred way to go.
Well, let's see if it's the show mush or the show whale, because three of us are rocking with it because we love the SoCon hoops. Another quick question for you, Steven. Maybe you can get to it at the end. UMBC money line, yes or no?
It's iffy. It's iffy. Both of these teams are pretty similar teams in general. But just that drive up to UMass Lowell, it's one of the tougher ones when you don't have planes and shit taking you places. Like when you just got to make that long ass drive up the coast, that's not fun whatsoever. So I'm a little iffy on taking a money line, but I could definitely see it.
All right, Steven, the squad that you've been reading pretty well, Morehead State versus Murray State. Give me this one.
All right, in this game, it's for me, it's kind of just Murray State's going to lose one of these games in conference. The only teams they could have lost to is either Belmont or Morehead State. The best chance somebody has of beating them is catching them in a road game. So for me, obviously Murray State still the most talented team in that conference. They got one of the longest win streaks in college basketball right now. But Morehead State at home is tough. I think they're going to bounce back well after essentially their worst offensive performance of the year against Belmont. I think at home they're able to pull the top 25 upset and knock off Murray State today.
Yeah, you read my mind. I had it down almost in lights. Morehead State money line here. Murray State really played with fire on the road against Tennessee State, and so I mean I gave that one out on Spaces as a Tennessee State cover. They actually led for about 2/3 of the game. And Murray State's just so much more talented. But now they run into a Morehead State team that they actually match up pretty well against. Back-to-back road games, as Steven said, Morehead State looking for revenge. And look, for the majority of that Tennessee State game, Murray State, dare I say, kind of looked like a team that believed its own hype. They're a mid-major, they're ranked, they're getting all this steam because they're the longest winning streak, and they just look lackadaisical. And they look like they were just going to walk on the floor and win. So yeah, I guess they could come out and they could turn that around today. But like I said, when you got a back-to-back road game against a good team like this, I think that they play with fire a few too many times and get knocked off today. So Morehead State money line, pretty easy for me.
Goose or Sosa, you got anything on this one?
Yeah, so the reason I'm not playing this game, because I do like Morehead State, the reason I'm not playing this game is they just lost to Belmont. I think it was 48-47, and I feel like they were winning that game for the most part, and they blew it. Like, coming off the crushing defeat, I don't want to back them now against another top team in the conference. So I'm going to lay off this game because of the way they lost last game. I think the emotion carrying over isn't good for them.
Yeah, and this might be just one of the games for me to watch here. Murray just seems too hard. You guys like Morehead State to come up. That's why I just think it's hard to see where Murray could potentially just get out and roll. I don't know. Don't want to go against Murray State at this point. Just too scared, I guess. So I guess I'm going to church tomorrow morning and missing Sunday morning quarterback.
Just one more thing about Morehead State this year. So in home games following road games, they're 5-0. 4 of those wins have come by 13 or more. It's just it's nothing like super mathematical about that. Just a nice trend that I noticed. When they do go on the road, they tend to play closer games, but then when they come back home, they tend to smack.
Sosa, I know you have thoughts on this one, so you're not running away from this one and just showing up so you can't get fined. Michigan versus Ohio State.
Going for this, I do have thoughts on this, and no matter when I see this matchup, no matter what the number is, the game's going to go over.
You said over or under? I'm sorry.
We'll go over. No matter who the teams are, who the players are, I believe this game goes over.
141 is the current number.
Yeah, it's at that number. I think the game's played in the 80s is nonstop action. Both teams want to run. And Michigan's made that transition, Rex. They're not playing Martelli ball anymore. They're out here getting out and challenging teams athletically. It's kind of like they were doing that last year and it worked. But I think Jawan's got his team refocused. Big game against Purdue the other night. I just like the way this team is trending. The talent's always been there. It's not a question of if they have talent. It's a matter of getting the right mix and having players that are motivated. Now, they could well come out here and get that ass cracked today off of an emotional win the other night. I'm betting again. Obviously, Ohio State plays really well. They just play well in the conference, but they have shoddy moments where they don't show up on the road. If I had to lean, I would take Michigan in this spot again today. I like Michigan. I like the way the team's trending, and they're healthy now too. So that always helps. So
one of the wildest things I saw out there in the Twitter waves this week was Michigan is 91, 63, and 2 ATS at home in Big Ten play since 2005.
Jeez. So bit of a home court advantage, you said?
Yeah. I think I don't know anyone else who has a better one than that, but that's kind of where you're laying them. The short 2.5, so their Sharps moved it and technically disrespecting Michigan, saying they don't even going to give them the full home court advantage here. So I know D-Rock is saying OSU stinks out loud on the road. Steven, what are you liking here for this one? Because I know you might be on D-Rock's side.
That was spoken like a true Michigan resident too.
Right.
Yeah, I would. This isn't one of the games I'm playing today, but I would lean towards Michigan because I actually think. Well, this is one of the main sticking points I've had for a couple of years. I think Ohio State has consistently been a pretty bad team in conference. Like they get up so high early in the year, and then they end up being such an average Big Ten team. It's always been insane to me. And now you got a Michigan team coming in at home who's just in desperation mode right now. They need every single win they can get to close the year if they want to make the tournament. So I don't think they have room for any letdown spots right now, just because they don't have any room for error. So I would lean Michigan -2.5. Like if I could have seen it at like a pick'em or them still giving the ranked team like a 1-point favorite, I would have been on Michigan immediately.
Anyone else got any thoughts on this one, Spin? I think you're the only one who hasn't gone.
Yeah. I'll give you a small, and which is funny coming from my mouth. I'll give you a small little parlay on this game. Same game parlay. Michigan and the over easily. Or if you want to gamble a little bit more, Michigan money line and the over. Just pair one of those with the over. Count your money when you're done.
Are there player props for this? Like for this game?
There will be.
Yeah.
Hunter Dickinson. Hunter Dickinson and EJ Liddell are going to both ball outrageous today. I promise you. They're both going to have great games.
Spin, pull those up for a second to give Sosa the numbers.
If they have, I have not checked out player props for college. I've only bet the ones you've put out.
Mine.
Yeah, so like I don't actually like actively go through the games.
Oh.
Like whatever you said is what I end up playing. I haven't.
They're not out yet. They're not out yet.
Oh yeah, because this is a 6 p.m. tip, so they won't be out yet. But
They'll
definitely
be
be monitoring those numbers. Yeah, I think you could comfortably back either of these guys to get 14 plus. If you're starting to hover over that number, you probably shouldn't be too scared. But I think if for some reason they're listed under that, it'd be a good way to fire.
I'm also on the over for this game. I was happy to hear Sosa was on it first. After watching Ohio State this week versus Rutgers, I like this Ohio State team. I think they have like so many power forwards. I think they have a lot of mismatches. Like EJ Liddell should eat. I don't think anyone on Michigan really will be able to guard him. But at the same time, then Hunter Dickinson should eat because they don't have that top end size, in my opinion. So I think, both those bigs eat. And Branham on Ohio State, he averages 11 points a game, but he averages 15.8 on the road. This dude just likes going on the road and shooting threes, and he makes threes. So, I like this over tonight as well. But I actually would lean Ohio State for the full game. Because,
I see Goose Island. Why are we liking?
He's standing.
Goose Island. Let us know.
The Goose stands alone. Here we go.
I was highly impressed with them. Rutgers was down 8 points with 3 minutes left and went on a 10-0 run to beat Ohio State. Like, after seeing that, I just think Ohio State controlled the game, and I like how they play. As I said, they run a lot of like small forwards and power forwards. I like their size. They just don't have the top end size to cover Hunter Dickinson. So ultimately, I like the over the most. But if I had to pick a side, I'd lean Ohio State.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry. I was just gonna say one more thing. This is the time of year right before conference tournaments, and you see it in a lot of places in college basketball where you see teams pull out. Like, it's why I think Michigan smacked Purdue, is because desperation starts to set in. These teams that are on the bubble, they know they're on the bubble and they know they have to win. So I always look at when you're at home and you need the win way more than your opponent does, which is a situation that we have here tonight. This is where right before conference tournaments in February, you start to see teams playing with a little more desperation. So I love the intensity and quite honestly, the desperation that Michigan brought to Purdue. They have a road stretch coming up next week with Iowa and Wisconsin, where they're probably going to lose both of those. Sorry, D-Rock. But so they need this one bad. You're on mute. Sosa, you're on mute.
Don't worry, D-Rock. They're not going to lose both of them. No way. We could bet that now. They're not going to lose both those games.
We'll figure that out later.
They're going to win. They're going to win one of them. Whether it's Wisconsin. Listen, I think they'll beat Wisconsin. I think they'll beat Wisconsin. Yeah. I don't know how. How are you guys 7.5 point dogs today, bro? What the fuck's going on? Y'all, somebody not playing?
Rutgers?
No, it's just Rutgers on the road, bro. It's not the same.
Oh no, Rutgers is going to beat Wisconsin today.
7.5. I'm sorry. I was just looking at it. I'm like, what the fuck? Sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yo, I will say
we can mess around like we always say in the chat. Drop any questions. We hit your Memphis question. We hit your UMBC. We look at every game on the board. And then if Furman versus Chattanooga isn't my game of the day, this late night one is UCLA versus USC. Mick Cronin trying to get his first win against USC and Andy Enfield. That's one of the crazier stats out there. He's 0-3 against them in his career there, especially with the UCLA late runs. But last year they had the bigs. So that's kind of just where not the best matchup for UCLA's squad that they had last season. This year, only Mobley returns. They got Boogie Ellis still running it there. They have good wins the other sides there. They're still going to run out that same size, but they're not lottery picks. Best kind of way to put it there. Who likes a play in UCLA versus USC? We got UCLA laying 2, total 136.5.
I'll just sorry. I'll just start so you guys can go. I actually hate the way both of these teams are playing right now. I have thrown up a little bit in my mouth watching each of their last 2 or 3 games. Both these teams are just in ugly form. I'm going to hit this live and live only. I want nothing to do with this pregame. So I'll shut up and you guys go.
Yeah, the only thing I like here would probably end up being the over, I think. I don't know. I like the way Drew Peterson shoots on offense for USC. I still like Isaiah Mobley on the inside. I think USC will have enough scoring, and I think UCLA will just be able to match them and get this game over. But the one thing I was trying to get out before, I'm actually changing my pick in the Baylor game. I'm just going with the under because it was announced like 5 minutes ago that Cryer is still out for Baylor. So not having your leading scorer, I'd like to be on the under in that game.
I'm still rocking that 3.5. I'm not scared like Steven is.
I got something for this game.
Let's hear it, Goose.
She just moved to LA, go to UCLA, and she drove on Maserati. Then she got a
I'm rocking with UCLA. I like this team. Isaiah Mobley is dope as a big man, but Rutgers transfer Miles Johnson is only playing 18 minutes a game. I think he's going to get 28 minutes a game. He's going to play some great defense on Isaiah Mobley if the coach is smart. Like, he's one of the better defenders. He doesn't bring anything on offense, but he I like Miles Johnson to neutralize UCL or USC strength, and I think talent will prevail. UCLA is loaded with these swingmen, and I think they'll overwhelm USC. What did Rex say? They're 0-3 against USC.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they get their first win. The under is also 4-0 their last 4 against these two teams, little rivalry game. So that's something to keep an eye on, that neither team shoots threes, and we're going to get some great defense. So the under is also a nice play, but I'm rocking with UCLA.
Damn it, Goose. We have a head-to-head. The win's not coming today. The win for UCLA and Mick will come in the last game of the season when it means a little bit more. My biggest factor in this one, and it's hard to trust stats because the Pac-12 is just that bad other than these two teams. They're not first-round lottery picks. I was just playing the other side of the story here. Unless UCLA continues that top and hot, like how Spin said, they're not hot from 3 anymore. That's the way that they're going to win this one and make you be jamming out to – I have no idea what song you're playing. I just think USC is going to own the paint here. That's the biggest factor here. Even with Mobley, him being the sole piece, just on offense, they have a big advantage here where UCLA ranks outside of the top 100. USC ranks barely in the top one side of the 100, but it's on the offensive end where USC has a top 5 near point scored defense. And I just think when I can get the home team at plus 110 on the money line, you can take the +2 for minus 110 if you want. I want to be owning the paint with the home court, so I'll be rocking with the Trojans. So, did you try the orange Red Bull flavor yet?
I barely even drink Red Bull anymore. I just needed one today. That was all. Got a long day ahead of me. So,
I was about to say that is the 6 games that we had. If you have any questions or anything like that for any other games, drop them in the chat. We're 45 minutes from the first tip. I'm just going to roll through the chat right here. We did not talk Bama versus Arkansas. We got that. I was going to say that was one of the questions we got. Steven, Goose, anyone, give us quick thoughts on that one before we go through our full cards.
I like Alabama.
I don't like to do it because I've been burned by Alabama at home a couple of times already. And this seems like the only place they play well because they look like shit on the road. But I love the momentum Arkansas is on right now. I feel like they finally figured out their rotation and they got their team down and set up pretty well. I'm going to take Arkansas money line here, honestly. And because I don't know, man. I think they have the talent to be like one of those like top 3 teams in the SEC, and they'll really solidify that with a win over Bama today.
Yeah, I have actually not been able to figure out Arkansas. So they're one of the teams. They're one of the like only teams in college basketball where no matter what side I'm on with theirs, it's always the wrong one. So I'm just going to ignore this game. I'm going to watch it as a fan, but I'm just going to ignore. Maybe a live play.
Anyone got anything else? Nope. All right.
I think Bama rolls today.
Ooh. All
And-
right.
Arkansas off of this.
Ends the streak.
Arkansas off this emotional win when they basically got gifted it by the fucking referees. Come on.
Well, that and the absolutely atrocious late game decision and last play in regulation by Auburn. Dribble in place for 7 seconds and cast a 35-footer. When you have
Oh my God! And all you needed was a bucket.
Mhm.
Insane, absolutely insane. So, like,
Where the beer's at? I don't know. We're slacking today. No
Yeah.
more, I guess, from the
Later.
show. Thoughts on Marquette? I got to play in that one on the cards. I'll just give it out there. So let's just get into our full cards because we're about to hit 45 minutes. Who wants to go first?
I can get up out of here with my joints. I got 5 plays in total. Let me just make sure I got everything right for you guys. I like Auburn -12, -114. I don't think I need to really explain why. I don't. They're coming off a L at the crib. They should beat the shit out of these guys today. My other plays are Georgia Tech versus UVA under 123. Both teams play gritty defense. First team to 50 is going to win this game. I like Duke -13 against Boston College.
Ugh.
Boston College is not good. They should beat the shit out of them. Ohio State versus Michigan over 141 at -106. And my final play of the day is Depaul. It's in the Depaul versus Providence game. Providence team total over 71.5. They should easily score 80 against DePaul today. Like I said, I'm going to say it back one more time. Auburn -12, -114. Georgia Tech, UVA under 123 at -114. Duke -13 at -114. Ohio State, Michigan over 141 at -106. And Providence team total over 71.5 at -106.
All right.
That's what I
Who's
got
up?
today.
Nice. Who's up
I
next?
guess. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do an Ivy team total here. First one, I'm gonna go Brown and Cornell over 148.5. If it's at 149, play that too. If you really want to gamble, you can go over 150.5 for an alt line. Second one I want to give out is I'm gonna give out. We're gonna go with South Dakota -3.5. I'm gonna go with Tulsa +2.5, and then just because I'm wearing it, I got to give a play on this game. Towson rolls. Towson smacks the shit out of Elon, who's bad on the road, and the full game goes under. So there's no way that I'm going to wear this on this show and not give out a Towson play. So Towson Tigers, baby, your future Colonial Tournament champions.
Can we get futures on that?
No, trust me, I looked.
Who's next?
I'll go. I got a 6-pack. I'm gonna go with Texas +6. I think they keep this game close.
Don't.
I'm gonna go with Bryans -1.5. They're going to LIU. Bryant is on a 9-1 ATS heater, and Pete Kiss is back. He's their college
Peter Kiss.
basketball leading scorer.
Wait, Goose. I'm sorry. Just for those that don't know, watch this game if you can, because for those that don't know what happened last time, which I'm assuming you do, the last time these two teams played, there were 12 technical fouls, 3 ejections, 3 fights, and I think like almost 60 or 70 free throws. They were fighting with the fans in the hallway. So this is I don't think that there'll be that this time, but Peter Kiss is one of the best low-key shit talkers in all of college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, he's definitely, and he's a bucket getter. Like, he's just a college basketball star. Like, he talks shit and he gets buckets. I'm gonna go Chattanooga plus 4.5. I am gonna go back to my well. I'm gonna go to Bellarmine minus 3.5. I think they need to get a win. They're going on the road. They had a couple tough games. Michigan, Ohio State over 141. And I'll close the night out with, I think UCLA takes care of business. UCLA minus 2.
Steven?
All right. So I have 12 plays written down. I'm only going to give out 6 of them. The full card will be coming out in segments on Twitter, but I'm going to go with Creighton minus 4. Can't trust Georgetown for shit. Creighton's right on the bubble right now. They need it. I'm going with Davidson minus 2.5. Just doesn't feel like enough points. Feels like Davidson needs a blowout win after St. Joe's took him to overtime in the last game. I'm going to be rocking with VCU money line. I don't know. I think their defense can kind of handle George Mason tonight. I'm going to go with Santa Clara money line over San Francisco. Santa Clara still has a bad taste in their mouth after the way they lost the game in San Francisco. Santa Clara's been on a little bit of a heater right now, and now they're getting this revenge game at home. I like them money line. I will also be taking Ole Miss money line over Missouri. Missouri's just that bad. I don't see any sort of home court advantage at that gym. So even though Ole Miss can be kind of Jekyll and Hyde with the offense, I think they do enough to get it done here. And then I'll be closing my night out just with I'm not going against Gonzaga at home. I mean, sure, St. Mary's is pretty good, but I'm still going to take Gonzaga minus the 16 and just trust it.
And just trust it. All right. My 6-pack of plays coming at you. I gave out 4 of them already on the show. I'm rocking with the Baylor. Oh, let me switch the bottom card. Baylor first half minus 3.5, minus 110. I still think they get the tempo right and set it right from the get-go. Full game, don't want to be involved. I'm taking the Oklahoma, Kansas over 138, minus 110. Rocking Chattanooga with the rest of the guys, 4.5, minus 110. UNC, team total over 77, minus 110. Florida State just lost the Pitt in a bad game where they put up 51 points. I don't want to lay the 9 at home, but I just think at Florida State without Osborne, the defense is just that bad. UNC is going to roll them tonight at home. USC money line plus 110. Sorry, Goose, we're going head-to-head on that one. And then the last way we're going to wrap it up, it's a gross one, but we're going to be back in Minnesota at the barn, -1, minus 110 against Penn State. Minnesota will get back right at home against one of the teams that actually is closer to them competition-wise after getting spanked by Corn midweek. As we have some chats and questions, no one talked about Kentucky. Any thoughts on that spread? I didn't have any thoughts.
No, 10 feels right on the number. I don't want to be on either side there.
If I had a free play, slightly on Kentucky, but nothing I'm putting my money on.
Any thoughts on the Gonzaga?
Just trust Steven.
Yeah, they roll. At home, they roll.
Just
Sean
trust it.
likes Arkansas first half. The Texas play is bold. Our man Steven Harrison likes Texas and Bama, and he likes Florida as well. But we got a half hour till tip. That's going to wrap us up for today on Paid for Play. We appreciate all of you tapping in with us. If it's your first show, we know you'll be back. If you're coming back, we already know why you come back, because the show is money. We'll be live tomorrow, same time, for Sunday morning quarterbacks to get you all your Super Bowl needs there. Make sure to give us a follow and retweet if you watch this on Twitter. Give us a like and subscribe if you already aren't on YouTube. Until tomorrow, we're out.